How we doing, everybody? Good morning from beautiful Las Vegas. I am joined today from the other side of the world in Portugal, Mr. João Miranda. How we doing, sir?
Hello, Luke. How are you? Everything fine?
Things are going good. You know, as I mentioned to you earlier this morning, it is hot, hot, hot in Las Vegas. But
Yeah. You're in Porto as well. Not as much as in Vegas, but still very hot.
hopefully we're almost done with this stuff. But anyway, on to
Yeah.
better things. As you know, when you have things that are hot, you have fire. And when you have
Yeah.
fire, you have what? What do you have with fire?
Perhaps smoke. I don't know. Probably.
Oh, I wonder why I would want to talk about smoke today, Mr. John, right? I have no idea.
No idea as well. No idea. Let me know why.
We're going to have a lot of fun today talking about your brand new Smoke Watch Pro, the Smartwatch edition. Talk about some David Copperfield stuff. I really want to find out more about this stuff with you coming over here and spending some time with David. I'm very interested in that. Um, and
So I've been working with David Copperfield from the last since the last 3 years or so. I've invented several things for him, including one grand illusion that I cannot speak about, but it is something that has never been done in magic. It's not in books. It's an invention of me and Arthur who's a friend of mine. And since I've been working a lot with David, one day actually David called me and told me, "You want to come to Vegas? I would like to talk with you and interview you." And that's it. So I've been working very closely with David Copperfield, and it's a dream come true because he's one of my idols. You know, it's the person that I appreciate the most. So it's something very very good to work with him. Yeah.
that is very, very cool. He's definitely my, I'll say it, he's like my idol, in
Mhm.
magic. And working with him must be a very, very surreal thing because, he's like the king of magic, which is just wild. Um,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, very
He
cool.
doesn't stop, he doesn't stop because he normally gives about 14 shows per week, And even though after he comes out of the show, he still goes to the museum, which I've been a few times, and is always thinking in new magic and creating new magic. Sometimes he called me like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. In the morning in Las Vegas, and he called me. So he doesn't stop thinking. That's why I think that he achieved what he achieved as well. He doesn't
Yeah.
stop. You know, yeah.
And it really seems like you and your team don't stop either. I mean, you guys are constantly pushing stuff out. It's not that you're putting out a lot of stuff, but you're always pushing out stuff that's
hmm
really, really good and solid.
Yes, yes.
And
hmm
it's uh, it's
Yeah.
it's been really fun to watch the evolution of your company, your brand, you and your team. Um, Even with the
hmm
packaging, I've got a couple of the other releases here. I've got the Prison Deck, which is a great, great piece of card magic here. Can't take the cards
hmm
out of the box. I love this. And then we also
Yeah.
have Rejoined. I don't have Rejoined Express, but this is another great piece of close-up magic
Yeah.
from you and
hmm
Julio. Beautiful stuff.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, I don't create only electronic things, or it's a little bit of everything because I've been performing magic since I am five. I'm 33 right now, so I've performed a lot. Really, I've done hundreds and hundreds of shows, and I started to create my own stuff. And then musicians asked me, "Where did you get that?" And I said, "I basically created it." So that's how everything started, and I'm very happy with everything. And I also have, as you mentioned, and very well, an amazing team because I work with seven very talented people that are with me since the very beginning. And from Bruno Oliveira, which is one of the persons responsible for creating some magic with me and producing stuff, from Tiago, which is an amazing engineer, and Amorim, which is the person responsible for all the orders and shipping everything, Artur Santos in the design. We also have Miguel, which is a video editor and also makes the promos, Artur Santos, which makes all of the design, that you see on the packaging, and Paulo as well, which is part of the manufacturing. So I work with an amazing team, and none of this will be possible without them.
Well said, sir. It takes a team to do what you do, especially. And I think your latest release is a prime example of that. I mean, you've taken something that
Mhm.
even the smoke devices have evolved, over the last few years, but now to have it built into a smartwatch that looks the part. It looks like a true slimline, sleek smartwatch.
Yeah.
I've got the video of it. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I'm going to leave the audio off so João can tell you a little bit more about it. But let's look at this sexy thing, the brand new Smoke Watch Pro. Why don't you tell us about it while we run some of this footage here, Mr. Miranda?
Yes, we created the first smartwatch about 3 years ago, but now we have a new version, which it's an evolution. It's a natural evolution because we learn what we did, how we can improve. So, and it happens the same with all of my magic. I want magicians to have always the best products possible, you know. And once I have feedback of 1,000 magicians, I know a little bit better when I can improve this and that. So the new Smoke Watch Pro really is better because now the battery is inside, which is very, very cool and comfortable, and charges wirelessly. So it's nice. It's very easy to charge the watch. You just place it on top of the charger and that's it. You can also define if you want smoke for 3 seconds, which is a small cloud of smoke, or 5 seconds if you want something bigger, a bigger cloud of smoke, and no remote control because you can press the button, as you can see in the bracelet, by pushing it against your body or using your thumb, or even now, it is a new edition, you can press the crown like this. So you can activate the watch in any manner that you wish, and it's good for any product that you want, any magic that you do. Either it's sponge balls, in this case, this video was Fickle Nickel by John Cornelius.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very good because you can program also the time delay and the watch vibrates, you know. So it's a lot of things that we have improved, and that's why we call it the Pro version, basically. Yeah.
And I also have the beautiful charging dock you were talking about that allows you to charge this wirelessly. It looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yes. It's very nice. Yes.
And as always, your packaging is always right up there too. You guys have really spared no expense. I mean, you have a high quality product, but now you also have a high quality packaging to go with it. You have packaging to go with it, so it's like the complete package. It's very, very nice.
Yes, I think it's important for the experience of the magician because they are paying a premium price for something, and I want the customer experience to be the best possible. You know. So that's why we are always working on the best materials possible that you can do. Either are the electronics, the packaging as well. I think it's important because this is a very strong box, you know. This is strong. They can throw this to the case and the watch will not get damaged. You know, it's not plastic. It's actually very good and it's leather. It's very nice. So I have the watch in my wrist and here is the charger like this. So they only need to place the watch and it automatically starts to charge. There's nothing else. They don't need to open the watch, remove the battery. It's a wireless. It's very cool.
I know you mentioned earlier that if I wanted to have a peek at the watch in action here, I believe you're actually wearing it, if I'm not mistaken, yeah?
Yes. I'm wearing it right now. So I'm just going to turn it on, place like 2 seconds. And I want something that I must tell some people are asking because it's not in the trailer is how can I refill the watch, you know? So it comes with this very little bottle and here is the smoke pipe. But before I show you, I want everyone to see that there is nothing to find out. Look, it's really, I'm showing this 360 degrees, you know, the smoke comes right through here. It's very, very small and very, very impossible to see. So you can show your hands empty and you can do this like so. Wow. And like this, you can produce a beautiful cloud of smoke. And with the sleeves rolled up, you know, I don't have a jacket. It's really cool. Look, it's because it's a watch. It's something that people do not will say. Oh, he has a watch because he wants to produce smoke. Of course not. Everyone wears a watch. And this one is all black, looks like an Apple watch, even though it's not. Everything was custom built. The bands, the watch casing, the crown, everything from scratch was designed by us, you know. This is not like a watch that we buy, we remove the components and we place the electronic. Right. Everything was built for this specific illusion. So I think it's important for magicians to know that as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. That looks beautiful. And I'm glad you showed the angle where the smoke comes out too. There's been some questions about that, the positioning on the actual watch as well. So thank you for showing that.
No problem.
Yeah. And I guess going forward, because it is the little canister there, refills for the liquid for the smoke will be available down the road as refills. Is that right?
Yes, they are available. This little bottle is enough for over 500 smoke productions.
Wow.
So yeah, it really is a lot. So it's very, very easy. Yeah.
Very cool. A couple questions coming in about this smart version of the SmokeWatch Pro. David wanted to know, and I've answered this a few times in different places, but I'd love for you to talk about it as well. He wants to know, is it a watch also? So the big question is, and I've done my best to answer this, does the watch tell time?
Yes, it's actually in the description of the product, but I will tell you, it does not give time, and it will be easy for us to add a screen. The problem is that it adds thickness to the watch. We are talking about, because these little screens which have the time have a little band, a little thing that needs to turn and connect to the electronic board. And this would increase the thickness of the watch about 4 millimeters. So, in my personal opinion, and everyone in my team agreed with this as well, because that was something that was on top of the table, that giving time, is that it will increase the thickness of the watch. And I think that some spectators in close-up, because I perform this in close-up, it's not only for stage, people could suspect, because it will add an extra thickness that I do not like. So if I want to see the time, I go to my pocket and I have the phone there. So when I perform at gigs, I will not have anyone, oh, this is a fake watch because it's not giving time. Even the Apple Watch, when I wear my Apple Watch, I don't have the time in there. It's the screen all black, So I really prefer not giving time and being thinner than giving time and being a bulkier watch. So it was simply a decision that we had to take, and I honestly do not regret that.
Sure. I mean, it makes sense. Renee wanted to know, do you only sell the black color version? Do you have plans for other colors, or is black the only color that you're going to offer?
At the moment, it's black only.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Another question that was coming in over on YouTube. Do you teach the tricks in the trailer on the tutorial? So are there any tricks or routines taught to use with the watch?
Yes, I explained some routines, because some of the routines that you see in the trailer are not mine.
Okay.
For example, the vanishing disappearance is from John Cornelius, which is appearing right now. It's called Fickle Nickel, and I mentioned that in the explanation. So I will not, of course, explain tricks that are not mine. It's the same with this one, which is called, what's the name of this one? I'm trying to remember. I think look, the name of the Coke that expands and...
Healed and Sealed.
Exactly, in the seal. So it's an idea that I had, because with the smoke, it's really cool, but I did not explain. So I give some tips. But basically, with the smoke watch, let's imagine that you make sponge balls. Almost every magician makes sponge balls appear and multiply in the spectator's hand. It creates a much more magical moment if you grab their hands and they see smoke, It's the same when you vanish a coin. It's the same when you do, for example, the Phantom deck, where the deck of cards transforms into plastic, transparent deck of cards. So it basically increases almost every magical moment. So I think that magicians will very easily see how they can fit this into their act, even though I give a lot of suggestions in the explanation.
Sure, absolutely. Getting a lot of love for this. There's been a couple other questions coming in. David also wanted to know, can you change the watch band to match a band for another, like an Apple Watch or something? I know that there's a button built into the band, but are you able to switch the band?
No, because what happened is that also the band and this kind of connector was also designed by us,
Right.
We actually look like watchmakers because we did a watch from scratch and we had to learn how these things work. And so, no, this actually was custom made for us. So it's not possible to change for an Apple Watch band, unfortunately.
Yep, makes sense. Gotcha.
Yeah.
There was another question about the specifics. I know that in the past, other devices have used things such as heating coils and things like that, like flash devices and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
there was a question from Mark on Facebook. He says, is there something like a coil that might wear out after a while? Other than the liquid, is there anything that you're going to have to worry about long term to replace
Mm-hmm.
anything like that?
Yes. Actually, these coils, unlike other smoke devices, because there are still smoke devices where the coil can break if they are always working for a very long time. But with the smoke watch, the coil works for 3 seconds or 5 seconds, and it has a safety feature, which is after you produce smoke, you cannot produce smoke again for 30 seconds. So basically, we do not let the customer, without knowing, ruin the coil. Because if you always produce smoke, the coil is get hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter, and it could. I'm not saying it will, but it could eventually break. By the system that this watch is made, it's very very unlikely that the coil will break at any time. You know, so it will not work. It will not stop working because we have all these built-in safety measurements into the watch.
We got Rick Robeson out there saying that he loves your stuff and his Smokewatch Pro should arrive today. And he's stoked. He's excited. So very
Great.
cool.
Yes, great. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you
Um,
very much.
why don't we talk about the evolution of this? I had a question from Jan over on our YouTube channel, and he says, "It's an absolute amazing smoke production watch. Was that challenging for you and your team? Why don't you talk about some of the challenges trying to build a smoke device into a smartwatch?"
Hmm. Yes, it is very difficult, because we like to make everything from scratch. We don't like the idea of buying a watch and removing the things and applying because I think that this type of curations should work the other way around.
Hmm.
The watch must be as I want to design. So all of these things, it's a lot of effort, because it's not only in the making of the watch, but for example, the part that produces smoke when there is not a book or a video with that technology and you must invent it like this as you can see it's very hard because I had a tough time curating the fan for the smoke pipe. And just so that people know, the smoke pipe where the smoke production comes from, it's only that part alone takes over 4 hours of hand labor to make.
Wow.
So it's a lot of work, and the cables, the connection, we need to think of everything. So yes, it's very very challenging to create a product like this, but the thing is that I don't give up. And it was very tough, but when I have an idea in mind, I can go to the other end of the world. Either I die or I'll make it happen. It's how I work. I don't stop thinking about it. When I want to create something, I'm totally obsessed. I don't sleep. I don't. I live fully to make that trick appear. So that's, I think, one of the reasons that this product was born as well. You know. Yeah.
Absolutely. No project is easy if you start from scratch, but you have to come up with the original thoughts and ideas as well. And that was one thing I wanted to kind of talk to you about. Was as a company now with multiple people on your team, people that are wanting to create their own magic or a product to put out on the market. Why don't you talk a little bit about the process and like the secret world that goes on with a team producing a new product? 'Cause I know right now you've got other things in the pipeline. Probably can't talk about them,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
do you collectively come up with ideas? Are you the one coming up with these? Are you brainstorming with other people? Like, how does the process start? Like the smoke watch is a great example. What made you think, well, I want to make this? What's the process like for stuff like that?
Yeah, I will give you an example using the smoke watch.
Cool.
I was at a wedding like 7 or 8 years ago, and I had a smoke product from another company. Of course, I will not say the name, but I was so uncomfortable with that product because I had the smoke all through my sleeve, then to my back, a battery pack, and I had to do this with my arm, and when I went to the table to hit after I did the cocktail, the card magic that I normally did, I could not remove my jacket because I was all wired. And then at that moment, I thought there must be a better way. Then I thought I was wearing a watch at that time, even though it was not a smartwatch. And I thought I must create something in order to place all the technology that exists into a small device, which is a watch. So the idea came like that to my mind. But I think that the secret, look, honestly, is that I studied a lot, magic a lot. Since I am 5, 6, 7, all of when I was not at school, like 3 months, at least in Portugal, we stay around 3 months at home before the next season starts at school. I was totally obsessed with magic, and I watched it 24/7, and I was like there, absorbing all the information. I'm really, when I was very young, I was very, very, very obsessed with magic. I didn't care about anything else. So I think it's one of the things that you must be really obsessed in order to create this kind of things. And yeah, of course, that I have a team of people, and I work engineers. Tiago, it's absolutely amazing. He works with me. It's unbelievable. But and I just do not. I also have other people in my team that give ideas, of course. But I think that the main reason to all of these products is focus and a lot of determination. I think it's the key to this. Yeah.
Absolutely. I get it, man. And
Yeah.
it's not an easy process. People think, that's sometimes, and I want to say this with you on here, because you're also someone that has some products that are electronic and that they're a bit more on the price range that is higher, right? But
Yeah.
any product, let's take this one for example. Let me come to this shot. Prison Deck, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This did not just happen by itself. Rejoined, you and Julio. This product did not just happen by itself. Sometimes people look at a product, and there's a reason I'm saying this, I'm going somewhere, is that sometimes
Hmm.
people just look at the trick. They open up the box and they look at the stuff inside. I'm not going to take this out, obviously, but they look inside
Hmm.
and they go, oh my God, this was $40 or whatever it is. But they don't realize the amount of time it takes, number one, to even come up with the idea. Number two, to
Yeah.
make the idea work, right?
Exactly.
Then to
Hmm.
produce it and to market it with nice packaging. Like, to do that is not a quick or easy process. And I think sometimes people forget that when it comes to the
It's
price
not.
tag
It's
for
not.
products.
Yeah. I've heard people say, "Oh, $350 for the smoke watch." I understand not everyone has the money to buy a product like that. But think about this. Let's imagine that someone wants to create a smoke watch. First, they have to come up with the technology, which is not easy. You must be really obsessed, like I am, to create it. You must hire, for example, an industrial engineer to make all of the design of the watch with you, which will take months of work to create it. You need to create the electronics, and you have to work with someone which is very, very good at it and make things like you want. So if you want to create one smoke watch to use, it will not cost $350. Perhaps it will cost $15,000 to create one, plus all of the months and perhaps years that you take to create all of those things. So people perhaps sometimes forget that this is very, very hard to make from scratch. But yeah, not everyone, of course, some people understand the
Sure.
value that it has, of course, but some people don't, and I want to be clear that it's not an easy route.
And
Yeah,
sometimes that even
basically.
goes for a card trick. I mean, the same could be said even for a
Exactly.
card trick. Like,
Yeah, prison deck. About prison deck, I was obsessed with the idea. Indeed, it took me 2 years. I had several methods for
wow.
prison deck, and I was in vacations in Spain. Uh, when at 4 a.m. in the morning, I lift off the bed and I draw all of the method that is actually the final method that people can buy for prison deck. And I had other methods. I had one which is basically a new shape, which is some metal plates holding the deck of cards in place inside the cardboard box. But the problem is that the cards, with the air that is around, they start to go big, and then even the magician cannot remove the cards. So I had several methods, and it took me over 2 years to make the trick. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure. A couple more quick questions for you about the Smoke Watch Pro. One of them is from our friend Mr. Harmon over on YouTube. How fast does the watch charge when you drop it on the little dock there? How long does it take?
Yes, it's about 2 hours.
Okay.
Yes, more or less, give or take. And the watch gives you signals because there is a white LED which starts to blink when it starts to charge. When it's done charging, the LED will turn to fixed white, and the watch will vibrate, so you know that you need to remove it from the charger so you don't forget. So, yeah.
Very good. I had a friend out there watching. We have people watching from all over the world, and you're joining us, of course, from Portugal, which is fun. Got a friend out there on YouTube saying he's from India and it's hard to get products. What can I do? I will say out loud real quick, just to answer that. Most magic shops out there ship worldwide. And I know, João, you do too. So,
yeah,
it doesn't matter where you are in the world now. That is one great thing about the internet and e-commerce is pretty much every online shop ships worldwide now. So,
exactly.
Wanted to throw that out there as well.
Yes, of course.
Let's see. There was another question about, oh man, this is a tough one. I think we've talked about some of these things before, but what's the best trick in your mind that you have created? This one comes in from Mr. Harmon again, actually on YouTube. Tough
one. I think that I have two. One of them, it's the watch, when you can predict time, even though the idea for the trick was not mine. Okay, it was from Richard Locke from Collector's Workshop, I believe, many years ago. But but what I bring to the table to the watch is that I had a method, an invisible method, to input any time in less than 3 seconds to the watch.
Yep.
So that was my. But I think that one of the tricks that I'm most proud of probably is the blackboard, the Lynx blackboard. It took me over 2 years to make. It was very, very hard, and now we have an easel, the same mechanism to an easel which writes into a notepad with real ink. And those ones were probably one of the toughest ones and the ones I'm most proud of.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, people love the blackboards and all those things. I mean, you've seen them all over TV and talent shows. I mean, for a good reason. It's good stuff. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mark wanted to know over on Facebook, when the battery wears out from charging, how easy is it to replace the battery? So we're talking about this Smoke Watch again, Smoke Watch Pro, and the battery.
So yes, it will last a really long time because actually the watch has a safety feature. So the programming that we did with the electronic board, the board does not allow you to go with the battery very, very low. So what happens is that it shuts the watch off. However, if you still need, we have available at the accessories section in our website. So, yeah, it's not a problem. And any part, I think that people should know because it's an expensive product. Yeah. I really stand behind every product. So if anyone at any time today or in 1 year or in 2 years or in 5 years has any problem, they just need to reach to me. I will do my very best to help. This is how good business is made. And I think it's important because I've heard of other companies that do not care. They sell and they do not answer emails. They don't, does not work like that with me. It's I think it's important for people to know that.
It's 100% true, and that's actually something I was going to mention there before you said that was your reputation, the company reputation is fantastic, and not only is the quality of the products there, but also the customer service and all of that goes with it is there too. I mean, you're going to be around for a while, and so your reputation is everything in any industry, but especially in magic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Look, that's right. Thank you. Yeah.
A couple more questions, and then I'll let you run. I know it's late where you are over in Portugal.
No problem. Take your time. No problem.
Jan is back. He wanted to know about collaborating with David Copperfield, and did you guys share secrets and stuff? So why don't we talk a little bit about the Copperfield stuff? I've got a little clip. You put several clips up on your YouTube, so if you guys want to watch these, João sitting down very candidly with David Copperfield, really cool stuff. But why don't we talk about that? Like how is it, working with someone like David? Like, does he have? I know you mentioned he calls you. I know he's a workaholic. I've heard this for years.
Yes, he is.
But actually flying from Portugal to Las Vegas and working with David Copperfield. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and maybe a little behind the scenes of what goes on working with someone like that?
Yes, it's very challenging to work with David, because he has very original ideas. For example, I say, "Oh, David, what if we did this?" And he tells me, "What if we do like so?" And he is very, very, very a perfectionist.
Mhm.
So it's very good to work with someone like him because he knows a lot about magic. I speak with him for hours when I went to his museum, and he showed me everything. I was there, Jeff McBride and him chilling around the museum. It was a very good experience, and it's incredible the amount of information that David Copperfield knows about magic. He's like an encyclopedia. So, and working with him, it's very good because I gave him my metal phone, which was a collaboration with Cali Morelli,
Mhm.
and he loved it. And he has a few detail, and so he's not when you show you something, he's not always happy with that. He must have this detail and have that other detail that sometimes make the whole difference. So yes, it was an amazing experience. When I went to the museum, I was in the so we went there, and then I had the interview with him. And about that interview, it was actually him who called me. He called me and João, please come here. I'd like to talk with you about your magic
Wow.
and the things you do. I love the things that you do. I love the packaging of your products. And that's he actually used my smoke watch in the AMC Awards in television. So it was very cool. And actually, it was the Smoke Watch Pro starts with the promo starts with David Copperfield. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the first time ever that David Copperfield gives permission for his image to appear related to a magic product. I don't think that it ever happened. So I'm very, very proud of that. And the museum, it's amazing. He talked about everything from Houdini, from some great cool stories about about him. And it's an amazing experience. We talk about some secret projects, of course, because I built an illusion for him which weighs over 1 ton, and it took me over 2 years to make from scratch. I thought it was something easy. When I said the idea to David, he loved it. He loved the idea, and since then, now not so often because illusion is finished, and but we talked almost every day about it and this idea and that idea and what if we had this detail. So it was a very challenging experience, but working with David Copperfield is something surreal. If you told me that 4 years back I will be working with him and having this interview that you see with him, I would not believe. But I think it's also the result of a lot of work. And my team is also very proud because I don't work alone. I have a full team of people, as I mentioned over and over again. And I think that it was a recognition from David. And honestly, it meant the world to us.
I believe it, man. You get someone like that calling you up for help or just wanting to pick your brain. That's says a lot about you and what you do.
Yeah.
So, um,
Yeah.
I wanted to throw this comment your way because I think you'll appreciate it. Nikit over on YouTube says, "Surely you're like the Tony Stark of magic," which, yeah.
Great compliment. Thank you. Great compliment.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing at all, right? Not too bad.
Yes, yes. Very cool. Thank you.
Take like one or two more questions here. This one I would
Mhm.
love to know about as well. Mark over on Facebook says, when you met David, what do you think the greatest thing was that you learned from spending some time with him, if there was just one thing?
Yes. One of the things is that when I think that one idea is perfect and finished, and we can't do much more about it because it's almost perfect, then comes David Copperfield and tells you, no, it's not because of this, this, and this. And then basically it helped me. David helped me looking at magic and at building with another view. You know,
Mhm.
I think he made me more perfectionist, more challenging with my work, and he made me believe more in my work. Basically, he achieved what he achieved because he has an amazing mind. You know, he's absolutely. I think it will be very very hard to be another person like him with his brain, you know, and the ideas that he has is absolutely amazing. So that's it. One of the things I learned from him is always look at things with another view, another angle.
Very cool. I've got one last
Yeah.
question for you, and we'll wrap things up after that, which is, what do you think it is that keeps you going? You know, the magic industry can be very volatile. It can be, you just never know what's going to be a hit. You never know what's going to, be good and what people are going to, jump on and what they're not. What kind of keeps you going and what keeps you motivated when it comes to putting out products? Because you've got such a great track record, but, you know, what keeps you excited about doing stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I love to perform. You know, I don't perform that much now, but I think that there are so many wonderful performers. You know, that even though I don't think I'm a bad performer, but there are so many good ones, and there are not a lot of people pushing the magic forward. In my opinion, there. I honestly, for example, Elon Musk, you know, he wants to go to Mars. He created all of these electric cars, and it's not about the money. He's rich, you know. He could go to an island and buy as many islands as he wants, but he still works like 18 hours every day, you know. So I think that it's like a mission. Seems like I'm living to push some of these things forward because I think that some of the curations, at least that's what I believe, will improve the quality of the shows of the magicians. So basically, I think that some of my curations could help magic being understandable and being understood as an art form. So that's what I live for, basically.
I love it. And trust me, we all appreciate it because, there's a lot of bad stuff that comes out as well. There's a lot of just poorly produced. Even the packaging is sometimes just a piece of crap, and the gimmicks aren't always what they should be. So trust me,
Yeah, it's a pity. Yeah, it's a
it's
pity because I think that I think that magicians when they create something and when someone puts a product in the market, and I think that we live to leave a mark. Someday I will die. You know, everyone dies, and I want to leave a mark in this world. I want that. Like it's like David Copperfield. You know, when he dies, you'll be David Copperfield in 1,000 years from now.
yeah.
And I think that when we live, life is very short. So I think that whenever I want to leave a legacy, João, for example, created smoke without sleeves, and these kinds of things really motivate me a lot and my team. So yeah,
It's great, and trust me, we all appreciate it. And what you do for the for magicians worldwide, the stuff you continue to create, it's just really refreshing to see someone that really cares about the art and, as you said,
yeah,
and just pushing it forward. And the fact that you've got David
hmm
knocking on your door says a lot again about what you're doing. So definitely keep it up.
yeah.
We've
Thank
got
you.
some friends in the chat saying they definitely support you and love what you do and appreciate what you do as well. So um,
Thank you very much.
I'm going to let you run. I know it's getting later and later
Yeah.
in Portugal, so I'm going to let you go. But any other things this year? I'm going to let you answer that, yes or no. Any other João Miranda releases or you and collaborations by the end of 2020, or are you going to be hitting
hmm
2021? What are we looking at?
No, I think I will release one effect until the end of the year.
Okay,
But I next year in 2021, I will be releasing two effects, which will be, I will say, revolutionary, like the blackboard was
cool.
and the smoke watch was when it was released. I think I have two effects which we are going to be released next year. That it will be part of my legacy for sure, and I cannot wait to show everyone what we are cooking.
That is
Yeah,
exciting. Well, João
yeah.
Miranda, it's always a pleasure. It's always great to see you, and I know that
The same look. Thank you very much.
I know you had a great vacation with the family before doing this. So I hope
Mhm.
you're refreshed and got the batteries
Yeah.
charged because I know you got a lot of work to do now. So keep it up.
Yes. Thank you very much. Look, it's very nice talking to you as always. Thank you very much.
Been a pleasure, my friend. And you guys out there, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the questions, feedback. If you've got some friends out there that you think should hear about this or they want to know more about the Smoke Watch Pro, definitely feel free to share this in your favorite Magic groups as well. But that's it for now. From me and João Miranda, we are out of here. Take care, guys. Stay good and stay safe.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye. Bye.